Welcome to A Man's Journey. I'm Christopher Bologna,
I'm secondhand Steve.
and we just want to say thanks for joining us on your journey through men's mental health through caregiving.
Whether you're here with us live or you're listening to this later, we're glad you're here.
That's right. Just keep listening. Don't forget to tell all your friends about us. Everyone, all the families in rare disease, in special needs land, at the schools, at the public level, at the private level. You guys need to hear this stuff.
We're trying to bring something that no one's bringing that I'm aware of.
Not a lot of men talking about this.
No. And yet, here we are.
Why is that, Steve?
Because it's rare.
That's a knee slapper. I think it's because we are positioned in this life as men to hold in our feelings.
It's standard protocol. It's part of our domestication, socialization, everything. This idea of how we're supposed to be.
Oh, we're here to change some of that stigma. Don't mind that. That's just a tickle.
It's like it didn't even happen.
It didn't. You were just imagining it.
I mean, I blew out my eardrum on that one.
Remember that one? These aren't the droids you're looking for. This isn't the cough you're listening to.
That's the first funny thing you've said.
Thank you, Steve.
In months.
Keep coming back.
I don't mean to be cruel.
All right. Welcome back. Hopefully, you all had a really great Thanksgiving. I know I didn't.
You know, if you're real quiet at night, you could hear me getting fatter.
Wow. You got your turkey pants on?
I ate too much.
You eat too much every day.
What's your point?
Well, my commode is like in pain.
The point of the holidays is to feast and be merry, correct? And I feast.
Were you married?
Yes. When I'm feasting, I'm merry. You can't beat homemade food. When someone cooks with intention and they give you the secret ingredient is love.
Yeah. Where did you go for Thanksgiving?
I went with friends.
Do you have friends?
I do.
Outside of this group?
I do.
Wow. How did that happen?
Be friendly if you want friends. Be loving if you want love.
It reminds me of that Lucille Ball show. Don't worry, we're friends of the friendless. Well, I'm glad that you were on Friends and Family. I was stuck over there in that bed.
You were sick. This was
coughing like that every 5 seconds. So much so that I coughed myself all the way into the ER. Don't worry about it. I made it. As you can see, no tears. It's going to be fine. Got a little shot of a Buterol and then some good cough syrup.
This is like a 2-3 week sickness that's going around.
Yeah, I'm in week 1.5. Honestly, yesterday I started to feel better as soon as I got out of the hospital.
There's something about that drive out the exit of the hospital that makes you feel better.
It's a waste of time.
It can be.
Wow.
How long did it take you to get in?
I got lucky because I went on a Saturday morning and I went to the ER, not the emergency room, but the emergency clinic.
Urgent care or whatever.
Urgent care, yeah. So then all of a sudden they said, we don't take your insurance here.
Now, a lot of caregivers have Medi-Cal and a lot of urgent cares don't take it. They want everything but.
Yeah.
So we have to adjust to that too.
Yeah. So he gives me this list of providers. He says, call one of these guys on this list.
You got the list.
They got the list, and every one of them said, no, we don't take it. And thank God I didn't leave the parking lot. I just sat there at the emergency room. So it's like, I'm just going to go to the emergency room. Screw it. I might as well. And they gave me a badge, told me to sit down. I went to the bathroom, did some business. And by the time I got out, they were calling my name. So I was there in the check-in for 5 minutes. And then I was in the back for maybe 15 before a doctor came to see me.
Do you know that hospitals have a moral obligation to take whoever shows up there that's sick or has an injury? They also have a separate fund set aside for hardship. And all you have to do is ask.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can't just go in and, get what you want. You got to be smart about it. You have to
Yeah.
know these things.
Well, you just gotta simply say, I don't have insurance, but they're obligated, they have to treat you. Any county hospital has to treat you.
Yeah.
If you
Mr. Doe, come this way. Otherwise, they'll try to
Yeah.
track you down, attach your wages. So you want to be smart about that too.
It's true. It's very true. But I didn't have to get through all that. I was released with a couple of prescriptions. I should be taking my puffer right now before we talk anymore.
You got a puffer?
I got an albuterol inhaler.
Oh, that's for everyone. Break that out.
Gonna find it. But yeah, that was my sixth day. Hacking. And it was crazy. It's like the cold and the shakes and the sweats. And when you walk, you're shaking like you walk.
So what I'm hearing is you got a nice workout. Expect the coughing works the core, the shaking works all the stabilizer muscles.
Oh my God, you are correct. That is so funny.
How's your intercostals and
They're so painful right now, dude. It's like I tried to stretch, on the ball. It's still so painful.
I had gallbladder surgery back when they still cut you open like a fish. They just gutted you. Now it's endoscopic and it's 5 holes or whatever it is. And every time I cough or gas, it was like being ripped open. It was horrible. There wasn't enough morphine to nullify the pain. No bueno.
Oh my.
No bueno.
I'm looking at my notes here. Well, sharpen my pencil.
That's sharp.
That's it is officially December 2nd.
Happy December.
Happy December.
We're almost out of this year.
And what better topic than to discuss our aging life transitions coming out of the year, right? So we're going to talk about tonight about how to deal with your midlife crisis. I think I'm hitting mine.
Now, how old are you? So there's some context here because you look much younger than you are.
How old am I, Steve? Could you guess?
I would guess younger than
Be
you
nice.
are, but I know how old you are.
Okay. I'm 55.
Now, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 55, you were a senior citizen. You got the senior discount at fast food places. You got discounts at other places. Now you're 55, you get nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
No. All right. Well, let's see.
You get back pain. It's part of the deal.
I had that last week in the bed. I hate standing in that bed too much.
Your warranty expired a while ago. You got to take care of yourself.
It's ridiculous, man. That's the 6 year 60,000 plan, bro. I'm
So
55.
Here's what you don't think of when you're young. You think you're going to feel like this forever. So I'll wait till I retire, then I'll go on cruises and vacations, and I'll do this and that. But no, because the same person that's a senior is not the same as when you were young. You might look alike, but your mind will be different, your body will be different, and you won't look at the world the same. You'll slow down, and that energy you used to have, and you're full of energy. You're one of those guys, way more than I have.
Yeah.
But it's still less than how you used to be.
Cool.
We all wind down. It's part of the plan. So you have to adjust for that. You have to, if you're going to do stuff, do it while you're young and able. Do it while you're able, period.
We love them like lemon and honey.
It's perfect. And if you can afford that Manuka honey, I think that's how you pronounce it.
I don't know what that means.
It's got all the antivirals and everything. It's when you're sick, it benefits you the most from what I've read, but I could be wrong.
I could be wrong.
And usually I am.
Right?
I could be black.
It could be white.
And then it repeats.
Oh,
80s music trivia.
because we're old. Steve's older than me. He's better looking than me though, so there's the plus.
No. No, El Guapo.
So as we tease ourselves about the aging and life transitions, how do we deal as men with life crisis?
Well, first off, you got to know it's going to happen.
Is it? But does it always happen?
It has to happen. me tell you what happened for me.
Okay.
So I used to have a truck, full-size truck, and I had the tailgate down.
Yeah.
And I was going to jump in the back and get something. And in my mind, I had this idea that I was going to jump up with one leg on my tailgate, push myself up, and then because that's how I've done it my whole life. And I jumped in the back of the truck, and what happened in my mind did not happen in reality.
What happened?
I went down. I went down. I face planted. Actually, I went on my side.
Where?
But
on the floor?
no, in the back of the truck. I
Oh.
made it up, but I couldn't get the leg up. I couldn't extend it, and too heavy.
So you just misstepped.
I fell.
Oh my God.
And I'm sitting there half laughing, going, when did this happen? And that's when it starts, the change starts happening. That's when you start realizing you can't do what you used to do.
Well, what year was that? Like how many years ago?
5 years ago.
That's when you started to have your midlife crisis?
Not a midlife crisis. It was just seeing that I'm not able to do what I used to do. And
well, maybe you ought to practice, maybe take some running steps, and you probably could have nailed it.
Didn't even occur to me.
You just said, I'm giving up.
No, I know. I thought
I'm in midlife crisis of my baby.
It was a nice shock to my system, and reality of what my mind tells me I can do. And it's like two guys about to get into a fight, right?
Yeah.
And you ever get sand in your eye?
Yes.
One little piece of sand in your eye, and you're tapping out.
It's worse than a punch to the face.
Right. And when you get older, it's like you got more sand, and you get sand in your eye more often. It's a metaphor, but
isn't that like eye boogers?
No,
I think I got some.
It's what you think you can do. No longer, it's on the menu.
Maybe that's flu in my eyes. That's disgusting.
Yeah, don't touch anything.
All right. I tell you what.
And you can't get sick from just watching us, hopefully.
Even the unvaccinated won't get sick. Dun, dun, dun. All right, I'm gonna go find my puffer. You tell them, how did you manage that discussion with yourself about?
Oh, absolutely. Go get your.
I need my puffer.
Go get your puffer, and your rattler. That's when your medication bottles start filling up. That's another thing too. Is maybe you're young, you take a vitamin now and then. As you get older, you start collecting these bottles of pills. And here, one. Someone just arrived at the front door, which totally lost my train of thought. As you get older, they start prescribing everything to you for this, for that. I used to deliver medication to assisted living houses. And what was interesting is the people that lived the longest, the people that were the oldest, the people that were the highest functioning were on no medication. How do I know this? I asked them. I would go in there, and a lot of them on the bottom floor, and these were real nice places too. The bottom floor, they would have just your seniors, and they would have like a dementia wing or an Alzheimer's wing, either on the top floor or in a separate part of the building. Everyone's on medication in the dementia wing and the Alzheimer's. The ones that were just your ordinary seniors, the ones that were doing the best, no medication at all. And I started spotting the differences. I would go in there and I would ask people, and they would give me some of the greatest advice of all time. I met a guy so old once, he goes, I'm so old, I don't even buy green bananas. I don't know if I'm going to wake up in the morning. And they gave me advice that was just, I'll never forget it. One old man told me, he goes, never take the elevator, use the stairs. And here's the caveat, while you can. And I never thought about that, but it's true as I get older. I have this back that goes out when I sneeze. One time I was tying my shoes, I sneezed, I peed a little, I couldn't walk for 3 days. These are all the things that happen when you get older, you don't expect.
This is what I want to leave you.
He's back.
Talk about peeing in your pants as an old man.
Talking about reality, talking about what happens to us.
There it is.
Oh,
It was here the whole time.
it was everywhere you.
Jeez, I'm getting old.
It's right where you needed it. How's that, better?
We'll find out. Yeah.
How's that flavor? Which flavor did you get?
Nasty. Steroids do not taste good. It's a butyrol. Don't worry about it, guys. It's a prescription. Should I even comment on the laughing and peeing?
No, it was sneezing, and then my back went out.
Oh,
So you missed that part of it. All you picked up on was the taking a pish.
that's great, Steve. It's not as bad as me.
What happened?
Well, when you're sick,
Yeah,
uh, I don't know if these viewers are ready for that.
they're ready for reality. They can take it.
Well, I don't know if it's an age thing, but when I
Yes.
was in bed, every time I sneezed, I pooped myself.
It's all connected.
It was so embarrassing. And then every time I laughed, I farted and I pooped myself. But there was no pee. Maybe this was just the influenza working itself out, but
Could be.
I don't think it's an age thing. I think that was,
Did that happen when you were young?
yeah, I think.
You had to be really sick. But when you get older, everything's a little bit looser, let's say. It's not as tight, and it's much easier to have accidents. It's
Yeah.
much easier to.
I had a lot of accidents this last week.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. What's done? Yes, your pizza's
Enjoy your pizza.
sorry, my PR people in the back room are hungry. So
Chris made a nice pizza for Jessica.
yeah, they'll have to cut it. It's not cut yet. Sorry, the production assistant quit. So it's just us to us. But
Will do
yeah,
in a pinch.
well, I mean, I don't I always thought that I would age gracefully. Like I'm starting to get the salt and pepper,
That's what we're told.
and I was told that I look all right with a little white in my beard. I haven't got out any dyes yet. Maybe I should dye my beard.
Not my
Oh.
thing, but knock yourself out.
Are you gonna dye your beard, Steve?
Never.
Are your eyebrows that normal?
This is it. This is how I look.
What happened?
Life.
Not
Life
just
happened.
it's like white and then brown. Is that the age canal?
I I don't know.
So this is Steve in his real form at what, 60?
59 and a half.
Looking
When did we stop saying and a half? What age were you?
uh never.
Remember when you were a kid though? How old are you? 9 and a half.
Mm.
You always threw that half in there.
We got rid of the half at like 18. I was like, I'm done.
When so remember you're a little kid and when you started you had to pee with your pants all the way down around your ankles.
Oh yeah.
And then there comes a time where that doesn't fly no more.
Yeah. Especially when you're in all the public restroom. The guys are like looking at you like, what's going on?
Yeah. So if you ever want to freak someone out at a public urinal, put your pants down to your ankles there and watch people scream.
Yeah.
Don't do it. But yeah, we change. The point is, when we're young, we do things different. Whether we're in our 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, we progressively start changing and doing things different to adjust to the age, to our condition, to what we can and cannot do.
But is that in direct relation to the midlife crisis? And what do we do about that midlife crisis?
Why is midlife a crisis in the first place?
I don't know. This is just the topic. I mean, is it really a crisis?
Well, a lot of times it's because reality sets in, maybe for the first time in some of our lives. And
what's that reality?
Reality is that this idea of this dream you had, how it's going to be. I'm this age, I should have this, and this. And none of that happened for you, whether through circumstances, situations, just life in general.
Yeah.
And there's also outer things that can happen too.
Yeah.
Depending on where you're at and what's going on.
What do we do to combat that?
Adjust, adapt, and be there for it.
Well,
what else can you do?
Well, we buy things like.
Oh, you're talking about coping.
Well, yeah, to compensate.
Oh, we grow a ponytail and get a convertible. It's the usual standard thing, or used to be to do. That was the joke.
Oh my God, I almost bought a convertible today.
Proof.
But I need another car. And it's like
we try to relive, well, some people try to relive their youth when they hit that midlife.
I bought 3 convertibles in the last 6 years. I just like having convertibles. It's just.
I did not know that about you.
Yeah,
I can't stand convertibles because they're too loud inside for me. I like quiet.
I mean, I could do another coupe with a sunroof. That I can, but
you ever? I had one convertible and I drove with the top down to Palm Springs when I was young, and I got sunstroke. But I looked cool, and that's what mattered. So, don't do like I do.
Ridiculous.
That's experience. Maybe I'm here for the experiences and I had to get that one over with.
I don't. But then other things that men do, they cheat on their wives, they need another girlfriend.
They try to make themselves feel more alive. And
Yeah,
they think if I do this, this, and
Right.
this, or I have this, this, and this,
but
that'll fix me.
that's like coming from a deeper problem within that family unit or that relationship. Like there's a lot of issues in that.
Yeah.
And so men cope by stepping out or having affairs to feel alive, if they're young, because maybe that is the ticker. It's like I'm getting older, I missed out.
Or to feel needed and wanted.
Yeah,
Do something to validate yourself.
Women do it too.
The wrong thing, but
women do it too.
Oh, no one's immune.
I mean, I knew a guy that his wife simply said, I don't want to be married to you anymore, and I have a lot of stuff to do, and it's not with you.
I was just watching a video of this couple that he has his own apartment. I mean, they took separate bedrooms to a whole nother level.
Oh, yeah.
And that's works for them. So who am I to say anything?
I mean, whatever lies you can get over. Well, let's be honest. If you have a separate apartment, you are banging somebody. Ow. All right. So
Nothing came out?
no.
Not there. Lower.
No. Is it gone?
What?
All right. So what we need is to really reach down and understand why we do those things. And like we talked about, a lot of things are fear-based, and a lot of knee-jerk reactions are this kid-like mentality. We spend money, we buy stuff we don't need, we go out and we party too much.
We're looking to fix ourselves from the outside, which always fails.
Right.
It has to.
Right.
It has to.
So we have to look on the inside. What's missing? Because those external like gratifications are only temporary.
They're beyond temporary. It's it actually kind of sets us back, I think, when we do that. It if we're there for it, we could see that I'm screwing up and this isn't working. And maybe that's part of the crisis right there. To see that I can't get fixed from the outside.
I know.
Another guest just walked in.
Yeah.
Hello, handsome.
He's in the green room. All right, yeah.
And we're podcasting here.
Yeah.
Because we're both pretty enough for podcasts.
Well, this is a video vlog on YouTube.
That doesn't rhyme. So I'll come up with a word track for that vlog later.
Well, it's a real thing. It's a video log. It's called a vlog. I know you're old, but you'll figure it out. We're getting Steve up to the technical side of this.
Steve is way behind.
Right.
Steve just came out of the cave, technology wise.
Steve didn't really need it. He was functioning like the rest of us before the 90s. Kept going. You know, but now he's kind of enjoying it. You're a big YouTuber now, aren't you?
Love YouTube. Love it.
Do you?
Watched some videos this morning on doing some I think Qigong, if I pronounce that correctly. There's a Shaolin monk on YouTube. He's wonderful. And today I did a lot of all my joints, starting with fingers, wrist, elbows, shoulders, spine.
It's good.
It was wonderful.
It's wonderful.
And then I did another workout with some nice lady who was showing me some stretches and stuff. And I ordered YouTube. They're not paying us, but I ordered YouTube Premium. And $13.99 a month, best $13.99 a month I've ever spent. But if you're going to order it, don't order it through your phone. If you have an Apple phone, they add on an extra $5 a month. So they make money on the deal. You have to order it directly through YouTube.
Like if you're watching this now on live, you can go to YouTube and order it through like YouTube channel.
Yeah, anytime it comes up on your home screen.
Is that the free trial? I always no.
But if you do the free trial, did I just say do?
Do that you do.
And yeah, get the $13.99 a month. That's how much it is at the time I got it.
$13.99 a month.
No commercials.
Really?
Zero commercials. You're able to get right into the video. And when the video stops, it goes right to the next video with no commercials. It's awesome. I love it.
But besides not getting commercials, do you get like local channels?
I don't know yet. I haven't looked into it. I just got it yesterday.
Yeah, he's voracious for YouTube. Well, there you go. I mean, here's another great example of midlife crisis. You know, you have YouTube. Yeah.
But that's to help. I mean, you could waste your time watching nothing, but I like watching. I like watching videos that'll benefit me, not just satiate a whatever.
Well, okay. Well, then we'll have to do a report in the coming weeks about how your YouTube experience is treating you.
Absolutely.
So some people buy cars and other people cheat on their wives or husbands. Steve buys a subscription to YouTube. Well done. See, I mean, but he's happy. He gets what he needs. So, are your parents still alive, Steve?
No, no, they're both passed on.
How did you deal with all that? Was it hard for you as a son?
It really wasn't. I lost them later in life, so I had plenty of time with them. And the most important thing, and here's what really helped me, I was right with both of them when they passed.
And there was no issues.
No issues. Everything was ironed out.
Oh,
there was a understanding of everything that happened, and love those people. Still do. And they're as close as my right hand. If you miss an ancestor or a relative, look at your hand, and that's where'd you get that from?
I don't know.
Them.
I was born with these things.
Yeah, but who gave you that?
That guy on the wall.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
you can't see it, but there's a picture of my dad. But
closer than your right arm, as they say. Oh, we're looking at the wall.
yeah,
What are we looking at?
this is the foundation wall for Project Sebastian. And inside this wall on this side are all the people that have actually helped move the needle for this foundation for Project Sebastian. And for those of you that don't know that Project Sebastian is a charity that I created over a decade ago.
Ooh, that's another thing too. What if someone doesn't know how to create a charity?
What?
Hang on. I'll wait till you're done coughing. If someone doesn't know how to create a charity, would you be able to walk them through it?
100%.
Okay, now how much easier would it be having them talk to you than trying to just do it themselves and learn the way you learned?
It would save them a lot of time.
A lot of time, a lot of effort. And one of the things you learn as you get older is to use your resources, use the people. And that's all we're here for, to be a resource for you and help you however we can. Because the work's been done. We're still learning too. Chris knows so much more than I do in regards to foundation work, nonprofit work, fundraising, and he has experience with that, direct experience with that.
Yeah, it's challenging, but it's what we do. It's our charge, you know.
And you did it for your son.
Yeah.
What a gift.
If you'd asked me what I wanted to do, I wouldn't have said, yeah, I'm going to go into charity and charitable work and raise money to help my son live. That's not what I would have said I was going to do.
One thing that happens when you have a child with a rare disease is you learn how to sacrifice. And you learn how to set yourself aside, and you learn how to take care of what needs to be taken care of, regardless of how you feel or what you think about something, and you make it happen to benefit your child.
All right, let's get back on points.
Okay.
The reason why I asked you about your parents was because I know there's a lot of people listening that are taking care of their parents.
Yes.
And the joy and the challenges that come with that. You probably moved them in, or you put them in a retirement home, or you forgot about them. But I'd have to say that before you spend that money, you're going to probably cohabitate again, and you're going to probably take care of them the best way you can. And that's got to be hard dealing with aging parents. So
might be another thing you never thought you would have to do in a million years. And here you are. Life threw you a curveball. What do you do?
I wish we lived a million years, man. You have a million lives. I'm not in that situation, but my brother Jerry is in that situation. He's taking care of my mom, who after my father passed, they were all living together anyway to save money. And now Jerry takes care of my mom, who's aging, and he's a caregiver. And he has asked me from time to time, how does this work? What do you do? How do you balance?
I'm glad he has you.
And, you know, the thing about talking to other men about ideas is like talking to a brick wall.
It can be.
Yeah. Male ego and pride is the death of every conversation and most men. So it was challenging for me to talk to my older brother because I'm the youngest. And in my opinion, I'm probably the most experienced at handling caregiving, to be honest with you. My other brother Dave is a Marine and he's retired. I don't know if he's taking care of anybody else, maybe a couple of his Marine buddies, but his kid are healthy and happy. And my sister, no. And so it's just like me 24/7. And then now my mom being taken care of by my brother Jerry, and I tell Jerry everything I'm doing, and these are the programs that you can make money at. Here's what you can do, here's what the state fund is.
Here's how to get more hours. Here's how to work the system, because you have to learn the language.
And did you think he listened?
I don't know your brother, so
absolutely not. Jackass. So there's a little bit of conflict at times where Jerry and we have a little bit of words about my mom being alone while he's working these overnight shift because he runs private security. But she says she's okay with it, and she's had a couple of falls. But male caregiving to family, it's like it should become normal because they took care of us in the beginning, and now we're taking care of them at the end.
In the West, this is one of the only cultures that doesn't take care of their seniors. In other cultures, it's part of life. You're raised from a young person with your grandparents living at the house, even great grandparents. And here in the West, we've separated from that, which I think we've done ourselves a great disservice.
Yeah, because they're in the way. And we can't make money, and we can't have a love life.
That's what we're taught.
We can't have them around. You got to get rid of them. You got to put them away in a house. I would imagine what would they do if they had that option when we were like little brats. We can't have a life.
Just drop us off at the fire station and leave us.
It's crazy, right? It's actually sad if you think about it. My grandmother lived with us for a while. And me and my brother Dave, we kind of took care of her when we got off school and stuff until my mom got home from work. But
what did that teach you when you were young?
It was hard. It was hard. It was scary. Honestly, it was just like, she would go to the bathroom talking to you while she was just standing, and you're like, "Hey, grandma, you want to go to the bathroom?" "Oh, why?" And then dementia would set in, and it's like you're not capable at a certain point. You're just not capable, so you need help. We did stick her into a beautiful retirement home, which is like 3 blocks down the street from us, and it was a much better facility. But in the end, we found out it was a lot of elder abuse. That's a whole other podcast, but
no place left.
Jesus, I tell you. But I think that's a hard thing for us as children, taking care of our parents. I think as caregivers,
well, we're taught it's weird, it's different, it's an inconvenience. They're robbing us of our time and our youth. And why do I have to take care of this old person?
Well, it's like, who's going to watch the parents tonight?
Yeah.
It's your turn. No, it's not my turn. I'm going to go out with my friends. No, you can't. No, you don't. Blah, 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 blah. And it's almost like it's like passing the hot potato, and
then you stick around long enough and you become the hot potato. And then you have a nice perspective on how you felt.
Look, I get it. It's not ideal. But what is old age? Old age is at the end of this life that they gave you, right? So, the guilt only works so long.
Yes.
And then you have to get into a serious conversation with yourself. Am I going to do this? Yes or no? And I have to say that most people say, no, I'm not.
And if they have the money, bye-bye, grandma.
Yeah. That's another big thing. If they got a bunch of cash and they can afford, I mean, this one place, my grandma, was $7,000 a month, and that was in the
how much?
$7,000 a month in the 90s.
So that's full care, all meals, medical.
Yeah, but that was
always a nurse on duty.
That's like 15 grand.
Probably more.
Fortunately, my father was making a lot of money at that time, and he was beside himself. I think that he was either guilty. His brother would not help. He didn't have any other siblings besides his brother, and he did the best he could for what he was. He was always traveling as a salesman, and my mom was a nurse, so she was always in hospital. So the next best step was to put her into some sort of convalescent home.
That's another thing too. It's with all family members working.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why in-home supportive services, caregiving was created, so we wouldn't have to put people in faculties and abandon them basically. So
I mean, so you're actually still taking care of your family member in home, but you're getting a paycheck for it. But it's still that.
it's never going to be what you could make in the private sector.
Do I really want to do this? God, do they have to be here?
This is boring.
Yeah.
I got so much to do, and then
It's very sad. It's really a mind bender, because it's like, how can you think that way about your nana who gave you $5 every Christmas?
remember Cats in the Cradle, that song?
Yes.
I'm going to be like you, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
And then the kid had no time for him.
Mm.
And then his child has a child and does the same thing to him. And somewhere there has to come a point where you make up your mind, you make a decision how you want to be.
Yeah. Will you be?
Are you gonna just give in to the world and dictate that you're gonna miss your kids' ball games and parties, because you're and some of us don't have a choice because we got to make the rent or the mortgage or whatever it is, and then this world owns us, and our sense of family is deteriorated because we're not there for the things that we have to work. And
WORK. You got a job? You better get a job. 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 Honey.
and then now, like a lot of people don't know 7-Eleven, you know how they got their name?
Because they were open 7 days a week, 11 hours a day.
No, because they opened at 7 a.m. and they closed at 11 p.m.
I was close.
Yeah, so 7-Eleven used to be was out of the norm. Most businesses were closed on weekends. There was only like 9 to 5 jobs. And in the last 20 years, maybe 30 years, we rotate 24-hour shifts, 7 days a week. And that's fairly new as far as society,
Well, there's other things that open 24 hours a day.
I'm talking as a whole, though. Now we have industries that are just they live for that, which is also not good for the human body. We going against a circadian rhythm. We're supposed to get up with the sun. We're supposed to go down with the sun, and we can't. We're going against everything. It's unnatural. A lot of people like to walk in nature. You want to know why, Chris?
Why? Tell me why.
Because that's what's normal for us. That's what feeds us. That's what we're connected to.
Without shoes, right?
You can ground without shoes.
Grounding.
But we're not connected to a job. We'll never be connected. If you are connected to a job, maybe something's a little off there.
You're talking about this is a job.
I'm talking about the deeper. It is, but I'm talking about the deeper connection, because there's a time we need to take our shoes off and run around in nature, and because that's what's normal and natural for us. Now, when you live an unnatural life, what happens?
You die unnaturally.
They had this it was a big cat. I don't know which kind it was, and they had it in like a 10 by 20 cage for years and years and years. And finally, someone saved the cat, donated some land where it can be free and run around, and they removed the cage, and all that cat could do was pace the 20 by 10, even without a cage. And don't let that happen to you.
Look that up. The pacing cat can be caused by a variety of things, including anxiety, boredom, and medical conditions.
Everything a job causes.
Well, also occasionally pacing is normal. Prolonged pacing and pacing is accompanied by other symptoms.
Again, it's an unnatural life, and so what happens is we develop the symptoms that go with it, and that's what comes through us. So to live more naturally is what's right for us.
Well, then don't put people in a box.
No, it's unnatural.
Well, okay, so.
And that box could be your house.
Or the commissary, or not the commissary.
Try again. Can I buy a vowel?
Oh,
need help?
The coughing is really affecting my brain.
Blame it on the coffee.
Blame it on the rain.
Yay.
Oh, I love Milli Vanilli. Bring him back.
You can't.
All right, so managing our ill parents as caregivers. We're giving you some great tips and tricks, and giving you some really good checkpoints for your own behavior and your own attitude. And so, when in doubt, get a therapist and have a group session with all of your siblings about what to do. And here's a thought that nobody ever asks. Ask your parents what they want. Okay? Don't assume that they know what they want. You need to ask them.
And if all they're worried about is being a burden to you,
Mhm.
you have to walk them through that and let them know they're not.
Yeah.
Unless they are a burden and they gotta go.
Yeah.
There's some out there that
Yeah. There's always a place, whether you want to take that responsibility or not, but have that conversation. Don't just ship them off like a package like they don't care, because it's less, intrusive on your life, you self-centered son of a.
do to them what you would have them do to you.
Yeah, what would you want? Right? You think I just tell Sebastian what he needs? I ask him now.
Sometimes in life, the growth comes from bearing things you think you couldn't bear before.
Yeah.
And you find a way. And maybe that's how we're supposed to mature and grow and evolve as human beings.
It's unbearable.
Because I know if you get everything you want and you just satisfy all of your own appetites, you're like a spoiled child. Doesn't matter how old you are on the outside. We've got to suffer a little bit. We have to know how to use it.
Enough with the suffering.
You got to suffer.
Jeez, this guy's all about you need to go through it, man.
Yeah.
Get that pain. Jeez, can there be a little bit more levity? Like our goals going forward into 2025, maybe? What's your life goals like? You've gone through a transition recently.
Yes, big one.
Was it what you thought? Did you plan this?
No.
So this was just something that just happened to fall in your lap.
Correct.
And do you think that you actually handled it like with a plan, or is it just kind of like on the go?
I tried to handle it with some dignity, and there was a couple of days I didn't have any. Because let's be honest, it's sometimes your life will hit you, and you don't know how you're going to react until you're in that situation. Thank God for making amends and forgiveness. Thank God for the ability to course correct and see where you screwed up and try to make it right the best you can. And that's when you have to swallow your pride. That's when you have to put away this old idea maybe of how it should have happened.
Yeah.
Because there's no reality in that.
Can we talk about it for a minute?
No, not today. Oh. Another show. How else are we going to get viewers? It's just like the YouTube. I mean, give me some time. It's brand new.
All right. We'll talk about that another time.
I promise.
Life goals for me have subsequently changed as a caregiver. What I thought was going to be me being the youngest producer in Hollywood, writing scripts every day and going on yacht with my beautiful wife and popping bottles, it didn't happen. It ended up in divorce, taking care of 2 small kids, and then now subsequently into this world of caregiving, because you can't have a job. You can't go outside the family home and work and try to take care of your children who are in need 24/7 with my situation. I would imagine there's a lot of caregivers that have that situation that
absolutely
that are just workers, they can't have a normal job. This is their job. This is a job. I used to laugh. As such a little jerk, like a little bit ago. I mean, I still am today, but reflecting on, I used to laugh at these women who were stay-at-home moms. When I was growing up, I'm like, that's not a job. What are you talking about, man? You get to do whatever you want, whatever. I just thought it was like it is ridiculous.
You bought into that frame of mind. Right. At the time, you thought that was right and correct, so you believed it.
You have to go outside.
I'll take care of that.
Sophia, there's a dog break.
Come on.
If you don't let the dog out, they just go in the house. It's not okay. Dogs go outside.
We take care of everything around here. Nothing gets left behind.
Yeah. And so once I became in that role, when I was a stay-at-home dad, wife, I married a very wealthy family. And we decided as a family that I would stay home and she would stay home. So,
What happened?
boy, oh boy, it's a job. It's for sure a job taking care of kids. You are constantly managing emotions, relationships, and schedules, and sports, and classes, and driving everywhere, and trying to entertain, play dates, all that crap.
And no one has perfected it and
It-
never will.
It's a utter shit show. It's just, but it's yours, right? These are your kids, this is your family, you're doing it your way. And today my thoughts are, it's like, wow. It's usually the normal is two
The
income.
norm. That's another illusion.
Yeah, the norm is dual income, 2 kids, right? But then who's raising your children? The system, or a caregiver, or the schools. So usually one person stays behind to raise the kids, but then that causes a lot of resentment and animosity.
It breaks up a lot of marriages and relationships. It breaks up a lot of
It
families.
does. And here you go. Hi, divorced. But
Multiple times.
needed to go through that to understand what the challenges were and why it was such a big deal, and so that I don't repeat that behavior. So kudos to Steve. We do have to go through these emotions. We have to go through this the pain, as you would say.
And you don't have to go through it alone.
It was lonely. It was lonely for me.
That's because you didn't have the skill set you have now.
No, because she had all the friends, Steve.
I'm trying to help you.
Yeah. And took my dog.
Not the dog.
Dude, I mean, it was bad. But the funny thing is that she and I are friends today. It's crazy. It's just, careful what you wish for. If you do the work, it just may happen. So
You live long enough, things will turn out in a way you couldn't even imagine sometimes. But as long as you do the footwork and you stay true to your course and you do what's right.
I would have to say in closing, what we put down on paper really doesn't manifest all the time, because things always change.
Always.
And you're always having to adjust those goals.
Yes.
And having that adjustment may derail you from what you think you're supposed to be doing. Can I go back into Hollywood? Do I want to? No. Because I know where my place is. I know where I'm needed. I don't need those accolades because I get enough of them here. You know what I'm saying?
You don't need to be fed from anything that the world's gonna, pat you on the back for.
Excuse me.
I'm surprised you survived the podcast.
I was
The
worse.
vlog,
I was
right?
worse last week, but I did it too.
That's true. Watch our show from last week, and
Yeah.
you can see the progression of his illness.
Oh yeah. Today I have color in my face.
You do.
Well, I got to tell you, thank you for joining another great show.
And we don't have all the tips and tricks, but you might. So let us know what you think would be helpful to someone or that we could learn from.
Put it in the chat, like in the show, like when people the comments, right? And we'll get back to you. If you want to reach out to us directly, so you can just that's the email.
The albuterol just kicked in.
I made a joke, and you like that. So if you want to reach out to us directly, please, you can just our email is yikes.
We'll get it one day.
Oh my God. I tell you, it's
This is called real. This isn't polished. This isn't pre-scripted. This isn't,
all right. Email us at men@raregivers.global. The reason why I always forget is because .global for me is new. It's usually a .com.
I've never even heard of it until this.
Or a .org.
Right.
Some people do their last name, but .global. So it's men@raregivers.global. Okay, so reach out to us there with any of your questions or comments, or if you want,
We'll answer them.
or if you want to be on the show, let us know. Steve, any final words?
Be gentle with yourself. There's a place in La Crescenta
Oh,
And that's on the wall.
Yeah, because I knew the man that created that. Don Hendricks. Rest in soul, baby. Yeah, that's Alcoholics Anonymous.
And he was taught that from someone who taught him that.
Be gentle to yourself.
Don't do violence to yourself. Don't beat yourself up
Yeah.
for falling short. Don't beat yourself up for what you can do is take what you learned and use it.
And you're gonna have male tantrums.
Turn your stumbling blocks into stepping stones.
So remember to forgive yourself when you yell at your kids.
Give up yelling, by the way. It doesn't benefit anyone.
Well, it helps some people.
It's good for ball games, but at home, who likes to get yelled at? You know anyone?
No.
So give it up. See if you can.
Okay.
Let us know if you try it. Let us know how you're doing with that.
Yeah, check in next week. We want to hear if you've actually given up yelling on any level to help you in your mental health issues. Being a man is hard. We need to express ourselves, Steve. I say go get a heavy bag and hit that instead of yelling.
So you find comfort in relieving the physical energy.
Yeah.
And that calms your mind down.
Sure.
You might have to do something different. If you like to cook, cook. If you like to whatever.
I like to
But
cook.
find something creative that's just not destructive, but productive.
Did you see my fire truck?
Look at this. Look at this beauty.
This is my Santa Claus. Not a fire truck, but it's the Christmas fire. Look at Santa in there. You see him? And guess what? Where are you?
Wait, it does more?
Well, yeah, hold on.
Do you remember the Sears wish
Oh.
list?
Look at that.
All right. Thanks for tuning in this week. We're gonna let Chris have his meltdown right now. He's obviously regressed to a happier time.
Oh, Santa's coming. Santa's coming.
Until next week,
I'm Christopher Valona.
and I'm secondhand Steve.
And thanks for joining us, brothers.